Okay, my friends, I don't know what's happening. I just did the entire 30 minutes of a live on 20 something minutes of a live with my mute on. So here I am again. We're going to see what happens with sound. We're going to get crazy. So I think I'm streaming twice. That is okay. You know what? Is Facebook still going? Yeah. So here we are. We're just going to be here. This is what we're going to do and go with it. So let me pull up some notes because I lost all my notes off my screen, everything. Okay. Hi, my friends. Let's talk about why you think your strategy stopped working. But that might not be what happened. So today we're going to talk about why client building used to feel easy and how something changed. Plus, I'm going to share with you a scenario of a client that went from 50% conversion, she was averaging between 30 and 50% on her events, down to 3.8, and what happened for her. And in the end, I'm going to tell you all about a new beta program that I'm going to have coming out that I have 5 spaces for. That's it. So let's just start with jumping in. Go ahead and hit like on this video, even if you're coming in for a replay, so that more people see it. Now that I'm actually have my volume on, I'm going to make sure I have the volume on. Can you hear me? Hello, hello? Oh, I do. Okay. I had to make sure. I'm telling you what. I'm just going to laugh it off. I'm going to laugh it off. That's all I can do. So tell me who's hanging out with me today. Hit like, tell me who you are. What's your business? What kind of business do you have? This is important because you need to read the other names that come up in there. Even if you come back and catch a replay later, read the other names that pop up, because this is really important. This is one of the ways we can network with people. When you start seeing people all the time and they see, oh, she's a health coach, boom, friends, when they know someone needs health coaching, they're going to remember you and they can refer you. That's how that works. So I am going to tell you, this is going to be one of those conversations that I want you to not just listen, but I really want you to lean in and think about this for yourself. If you don't know me, I'm Angela Nauman, and I am your 6-figure stewardship coach, right? I help women who've already made money in their business get their client momentum back so they can grow to that next level. Today is for you if you have gotten clients before, you know how to do it, but somewhere along the way, it started feeling like pulling teeth. It started feeling like you were just trying to force it into being. And you're like, no, I thought this was going to be fun and easy, and we got to figure this out. So especially when it used to work, that's the frustrating part. So have you ever had something work for you and then all of a sudden it stopped working the way it was? Yes or no? Like, we've all had this happen, right? We've had it happen in the kitchen. We've had it happen with our kids. We've had it happen in business. And here I see it happen all the time. And what I see is most coaches, especially the more experienced they are, they know how to get clients. They've done it before. They've had these really good times, but it's a roller coaster of ups and downs. So our brain goes into, something must be wrong with my strategy. I need to fix it. And here's what I want to tell you, friends, it's not a strategy problem. What happens, it's not the strategy. The strategy, if it worked before, it still works. If it worked before, it still works. What happens is we start changing, we start adding, we start second guessing, we start doing something to it instead of just leading what works, right? We think we need to upgrade or whatever it is. And there are strategies to scaling strategies. However, if what you're doing stopped working and you can't even maintain where you were, that is not a strategy problem. The strategy still works. It's from inside. Okay. So for Christian women, this leadership we're talking about here is stewardship. Okay. Stewardship in your business is how you manage, how you lead, how you take care of what you've already been given. It's how you're making decisions, how you're following through, how you're staying with what works, how you lead the business day to day. So good stewardship might look like, hey, I'm trusting what's working. I'm sticking to it. I'm going to keep repeating this. Even if it's not flashy and fun, it works. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make my decisions. I'm going to follow God, and I'm going to stand by what works. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to help people. Poor stewardship is like, it's second guessing. It's not making the decisions. It's staying in the background versus actually leading people. It's tweaking things too quickly, tweaking them too much, adding things to it instead of leading what you have. And it's thinking, it's the immature thinking and thinking, if I want more, then I have to work more, that kind of thing. So technically, maybe nothing's broke, but maybe everything feels harder. And so here's what I'm going to tell you what's really happening is you have a leak. L-E-A-K, leak. You have a leak in your business. So let's talk. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to give you this kind of little scenario that happened for a client. Okay. So there's a coach who came in and she was hosting events, not huge events, but she'd get like maybe 10 or 15 people into a room, into a paid container for a 5-day challenge or something like that. And they would come to her to learn and to be in this space with her, right? We've all done things like that, paid $47, go to the event, whatever it is. And every single time she was converting 30 to 50% of the women that came in there. So what she decided is, I'm ready to go to the next level. And to do that, I'm going to follow this strategy instead. So when that happened, she started thinking, okay, what I'm doing isn't going to work for bigger numbers. So, and I need a bigger audience. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do this. And I'm going, instead of doubling down on what's working, I'm going to offer it free. And I'm going to run this. I'm going to run some ads, and and she stopped. What she did is she stopped having conversations with people on the back end before the event happened. She started adding some things in. She started changing up the structure of the event. She went from like a 5-day challenge into I think she went to like a webinar, maybe a 90-minute webinar or something like that. And she had the signups. She had 48 people sign up. 28 people came into her room, and one person bought. One. So she went from having, I think it was between 30 and 50%. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while, down to like a 3% conversion rate. Huge change. And this was only after like 6 months of having one of her biggest months ever. Same woman, same business. But what happened, it's not that she switched her strategy. It's all the thinking she did around it, that this wasn't going to work for that. There's thoughts she had that I need to change this. So she started changing and adding and second guessing and all that kind of stuff. That was one of the leaks in her business. So because this is the moment that most people go through, they think my strategy stopped working. But when you look closely, it's that you changed something. Right? Maybe you changed, like for her, she stopped trusting that, or she never believed, she never trusted, maybe she never believed that she could get 40 people to pay the same thing that she got 15 people to pay. Because it took a lot of work for her to get those 15 people. In her mind, that was a lot of work. And so I would have to spend twice as much. So she changed her model so she could show up differently. And she did show up differently. And what that meant is her results were different. Is this making sense? So she took something that was working and she changed the wrong thing. She changed the strategy instead of changing her beliefs. And it broke it. It broke it. So when your client building slows down, it's not always because something is wrong with your strategy. A lot of times it's because of something else that's going on. And when we start second guessing, tweaking, and adding to it, trying to improve things, friends, that is not, you may think it's strategy, but it's about what's happening on the inside. This is about the stewardship. This is how we're leading the strategy. This is how we're holding that. This is stewardship. So we've already been given things to do in our business, to work in our business, talents to carry us through our business. And you have, because you've multiplied things that the Lord has given you and you've created those clients. But instead of staying with it, you went off and changed it and did something different. And as Christian women, this matters because you've been given the ability to create clients. It's not random. It's been entrusted to you. And when that happens, the goal is not to tear it down and build something else. It's to learn how to steward that at the different levels and to steward it well. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how clear are you what's actually working in your business right now? 1 is, I have no idea what's working, Angela. And maybe 10 is like, I know exactly what's working and I know exactly what's not working, right? If you're below a 7, this is where things actually start to break down, okay? And if you're higher than a 7, then the question is it creating the consistent client you want? If not, there's still something there that's off. So what do we do with this? Here's what I'm going to tell you. It's simple. It's 3 steps. Number 1, you got to get clear on what's actually going on in your business. Like what's working, what's not. Okay. If you don't know, you can't figure out where the leak is. And most women skip it. They think they know. You're like, oh, I already know. But then your coach gets on and asks you a few questions and all of a sudden you don't know. Right. It happens to me too. Like I have a coach for a reason. Because we can be the best coach in the world, but we can't always see our own mistakes, right? We're too close to the situation. And most women skip this. They think they're too busy trying to fix things, or they think they already know. So once we know what's going on, actually working in the business, then what we have to look at is the leaks. Then we have to go, okay, this is what's working, this is what's not. And then we got to pinpoint what is actually leaking. What is it, the leak? Most people think it's a strategy. That's why they start just changing things up. But here's what I'm trying to tell you is it may look like strategy on the surface, but it's something underneath the strategy. It's the decisions you're making. It's second guessing. It's over adding. It's over refining. Or it's just flat out changing everything. Right? And so when that happens, we start leaking. Or think that like we get leaks. And so those potential clients we have start falling through the cracks. Like we don't follow up the same. Maybe we don't prepare them ahead of time for the events the same way. Maybe we start relying on other people to do work for us, especially if you've kind of got your feet underneath you a little bit. There's all kinds of things, right? So you have to look at where are you on that journey? You have to dive into that. And so if you're sitting here thinking, okay, I know something's off and I can't quite see it. And I admit that, Angela, like, sis, it's me and my business. I'm here to say it's true. I'm not above admitting this. I'm not. So we all have those moments. You know something's off, but you couldn't quite see it. Here's what I can help you with. I'm opening up 5 beta spots into my Momentum Reset Intensive. And this goal is really simple. You're going to walk away knowing exactly what's off in your business, exactly where the clients are leaking and you're stopping the client flow, what to in a actionable plan to shift that so you can plug the leaks and get client building momentum back. You can't get off that roller coaster until you figure this out. It's not about changing strategies up. It's about figuring out what works in the plan to stay with it. And the plan, how do I then refine this without creating more leaks along the way? That's the big question right there. Not guessing, not rebuilding everything, not adding more. Looking at your actual business, where your clients are coming from, how things are, how and where things slow down, and what you need to do to get it moving back again. We clean it up so you can go out and steward that and get back to having those consistent clients in your business, so that every month clients will be coming in. You can keep your fully booked roster that you want to keep. Maybe you want to keep 15 clients on your books, one-on-one clients or whatever it is, that we get back to that place. I'm keeping this small on purpose, just 5 women, because I'm testing some things with this. And so the investment's going to be absolutely insane for those people. So if you're like, okay, I'm curious, I do want to stop this. I want to really get my momentum back. I need to stop working so hard with no results coming towards it. Just message me reset or drop the word reset below and I will reach out to you. Okay. And we will go from there. Friends, God's given you something. He's given you talents. It's not random. It is not random. And you don't need to rebuild it to steward it. You don't. All right. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Have a great day, my friends.